Story time!
Recently, I had gotten my ear up to a 0 gauge and all was well, and a few days later, I went to a concert. So, after the concert, all was not well. I started noticing like this bad smell that was following me around, and I had just started a new job and I was just like, what is this smell that I keep on smelling? It can't just be me. I know other people probably smell it too if I can smell it. I didn't know what it was, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just this job. And then I was like, no, that's impossible. And then I went home, I would still smell it. And then I went to my other job and I would still smell it. And I'm like, what is this smell? What was it? And then I started noticing that my ear was a little bit sore, and which was whatever. I was like, oh, I probably bumped it or something. And after that, I noticed that this earlobe size matched this earlobe size. So as I've mentioned a couple times in the past, this earlobe is a lot bigger than this earlobe. And I haven't told the story of why. It's not really that interesting. But if you can see, this earlobe is bigger than this earlobe. So I started noticing that my earlobes were the same size. So basically this one had swollen to match this one. And that was when I was like, okay, this is a problem. Now, normally when I do a fresh stretch, I do not take my plugs out for, maybe a week or 2 weeks, depending. So I finally take it out, and it and before this, it didn't really hurt. It was just kind of it's a little bit tender. Obviously, it hurts if you poke something repeatedly. So I thought that it was just me going like this too often. So I take it out and I have a tear in my ear, and I also have slight cat buttness, but I wasn't sure if that was because I just stretched it and then it was swollen. So then when I took the plug out, all the swollen skin kind of went back like this, and that's why it looked like a butt. But the biggest thing was the tear was infected and it was bleeding, and it was hanging off of my earlobe. So the only thing I could think of was that when I was at the show during Lamb of God, some guy elbow dropped me and he hit me right here. So maybe when he was just yeah, ugh, and it hit me, he probably went like this and grazed my ear or something. And that's what happened, because before that, it was fine. It was fine. I don't know what happened, because the only problem I had with the stretching was that I kept missing the connection and I couldn't get the plug through, and then I finally did, and I left it alone and it was a-okay. But yeah, and it also took a whole week to get to that point, and usually when you do something wrong with stretching, you feel it the next day and then you're like, oh, shouldn't have done that. But it's been about another week since I did that, so I should have taken a picture of it. It was so gross. It was just my hole, and then seriously this little nub of bloody skin just sticking out of the hole. But I'm going to remove this and see what it looks like. Alright, here we go. Okay, it actually doesn't look that bad anymore, thankfully, but it was wrinkly, and then let me turn on the light. Oh, it's really yellow, but okay, so you can't even see where, it was torn right here, and there's a thing of skin just and I was so upset. I was like, oh. So I downsized again, and it's been fine, I guess. I mean, if you can see, I'm turning this light off, it's too yellow. So if you can see, like, the hole is nice and round and not cat butt and not bleeding, not pussing, and most importantly, no strange skin growth like hanging off of my ear. So that's good, but man, I should have taken a photo of it. It was no good. No good. Right, so that's that. And that is very sad. But yeah, that was so bad. And just bad. I don't know. There's nothing I can say about it other than it was just bad. So I actually just looked at it in the mirror right here, and it's still a little bit wrinkly and like swollen-ish. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wait, but it's definitely nowhere as bad as it was that day. I was so scared that it would just be like that permanently because I was like, what do I do? It really looked like there was like a skin tag or like an external hemorrhoid on a butthole. Like, that was how bad it was. Just waiting so I can go back up to 0 again. Don't know if I should record it or not because it's probably going to be boring. I mean, I already have a video up on it. Whether it's posted or not is a different story because I record a lot of things and then I post them sporadically, and sometimes I post things out of order. But after this, it's, what is it, 0? Because I'm at 1, and then double 0. And I actually found this thing on the internet, on Instagram actually, of this like invention for stretching, and it looks really interesting, and I sort of wanted to try it, but in order for me to try it and like use an entire thing, I would have to go up to 1/2 inch, which I'd have no desire of doing right now, but we'll see what happens because I enjoy doing things for science, and science is calling my name. But yep, that's that, and hopefully in a few weeks this will be a-okay to go back up to 0 and look a lot less wrinkly than it does, but at least that little like lump skin tag like thing that was like, hey, hi, how are you, is gone, and that's all I care about. So until next time, see you guys later. Bye.